Yo, good morning, everybody. Look, hey, I got some time this morning since let me get some light in here so we can see a little better. Okay, that's a little bit better. Got some time this morning since I got up a little late. I was gonna go to the gym, but by the time I got out, I'm like, man, I ain't gonna have time to really do nothing in the gym before I gotta be at work. So here in the parking lot, just thinking, just chilling until it's time for me to clock in. But anyway. So I got a little time this morning. I want to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant. Uh, thing I want to focus on is to talk about these two guys. I'm not going to make this a who better between the two. I always thought it was really no contest, but right now Westbrook is playing out his mind, and and what I've always seen is that, both these guys are two great individual players in their own right. They don't really need the other one for their games. And I remember when Westbrook got hurt, some people were trying to act like Durant needed Russell Westbrook to be able to play the way he plays, to score points. He's going to struggle, you know. I mean, he struggled in the playoffs, but that's to be expected against a team like Memphis, a team they always struggled against anyway. Both of them individually struggle against the Memphis Grizzlies because they're a great defensive team. So if you only got one of them there, it's going to be an issue. But anyway, I've been watching these guys. I'm a big fan. Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook at times. I love him. Some of the times I hate him, but I am a fan. But I've been watching them all these years intently, very close, and both of these guys have always they haven't really played off each other that much. They've always, the way Scott Brooks, when it runs their offense, has always been almost like one-on-one basketball. You give them the ball, let them do their thing. So it's obvious to me you got two guys who are just amazing talents, and sometimes people try to pit these guys against each other, and the media likes to manufacture beefs, and I'm glad that these guys won't allow that to happen. That's what it seems like. Both of these guys cheer for the other guy. Both of these guys take up for each other. They are friends, it seems to be. They might not be the best of friends, but they seem to be friends, seem to be brothers. And it's refreshing to see that they're not going to allow themselves to be like Shaq and Kobe. The thing about the Shaq and Kobe thing that got me was that, and it's funny because Kevin Durant kind of touched on this when somebody was trying to say Russell Westbrook was better than him. He said, "So what? He's on my team. We're on the same team." That's why they understand about the Shaq and Kobe thing. People were putting them against each other, and my thing was always what's best for the team. A lot of times Kobe would go into his mode where he would be selfish, and it was bad for the team, and you see it on the court. You see it on the court where, his selfishness would show up, and that's when I stopped liking Kobe. It wasn't about anything else. It was about the way he played basketball at times that was unnecessary. It's not smart basketball, and sometimes I see some of that in Russell Westbrook. But anyway, the thing that got me about that was when people would talk about them two guys. Some people would try to act like Shaq needed Kobe, Kobe needed Shaq. And to me, if anybody, I mean, somebody that been watching the game a long time, you can see these two guys could do what they do by themselves. If anything, the other guy kept them from scoring more, getting more stats. But when it comes to winning championships, the more talent you got and the more you use your talent and utilize what's on your team, the more likely you're going to win a championship. It's very rare for one player to really just carry a team to a championship. I seen in '94 you had Akeem Olajuwon. Didn't really have a talented team, but when we say talent, sometimes I think we only think about offense. That was a diversified team. They had diversified talent. What I mean is the way the coach coached the game And with the talent he had, the way he utilized his talent in a diverse way made them a formidable team. So even then, Akeem didn't do it by himself, but he probably had the least amount of talent I ever seen to win a championship. In that '94. Now '95, he got Clyde, so you can't say that. You know, he had another Hall of Famer who was still on, practically at the top of his game. So that's what got me about the whole Kobe and Shaq thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, these guys need each other to win championships, but individually they're great. And I'm looking at Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. We looking right now how Russell Westbrook is playing. It's amazing, man. It's kind of like he's playing like he's putting up Oscar Robertson numbers, but really, and I remember my brother brought this up a while ago. He compared Durant and Westbrook to Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, and really, I understood where he was coming from, but I didn't really see a similarity because of their games not being similar. But I have to rethink that now. When I watched a lot of Jerry West highlights now, I see similarities between Jerry West and Russell Westbrook, and really they're very similar type players. And when we think about Russell Westbrook as a point guard, I think we've been thinking all wrong all this time. I mean, not necessarily all wrong, but the prototype for the type of guard Russell Westbrook is Jerry West. Jerry West, first, he was looked to score, but he also ran the team and got assists, and he could get you a lot of rebounds in the game. I mean, really, Russell Westbrook is doing a Jerry West impression, really. I mean, he's getting more rebounds, but Jerry West at times can get you 39 and 9. He did that. He did that a lot. They're similar in a way because also Jerry West, the way they play. I mean, you don't think Jerry West because you think Jerry West, unathletic white guy, but really he was an athletic guy. He just didn't always. He didn't play like back then. He didn't play to his athleticism, but he had athleticism in his game. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things they do very similar is that pull-up jumper. Jerry West was probably the best guard in history at that. And you see Russell Westbrook, he does the same thing. You go full speed, pull up, hit. Jerry West had that down to a T. They both could get to the basket whenever they wanted to. It's just that Westbrook is faster and more explosive. At least he appears to be faster. I'm told that Jerry West was really fast. He just, like I said, he just didn't play always at the same speed as Westbrook. Westbrook always plays at 100 miles an hour, and he's around. He's more explosive around the basket. But there's a similarity there. And then when you go to Elgin Baylor and Kevin Durant, and that was the thing, I didn't really see a similarity between the two because if you look at Elgin Baylor, the closest player to his game to me is Kobe Bryant. I mean, they're almost the same player. They're tough shot makers, very athletic, very skilled, take bad shots at times. Not the most efficient, but they probably the hardest guys to guard when they were in the league. So, and they both were Lakers. So I never really thought about Elgin Baylor when it came to Kevin Durant because even though they played the same position, there was no similarity in their games. They're not similar at all to me. But the point of this video, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, are we looking at the new age Jerry West and Elgin Baylor? And I say that because as a fan, I'm afraid that if these guys, especially with these injuries this year that's going on with Kevin Durant and even Westbrook get injured every once in a while, these guys, if Kevin Durant could come back healthy, they should win a championship this year. They should get it done. But I'm afraid that these guys are this good, they might not win a championship together. I don't want to see them win it apart. I want to see them win it together. I don't want them to get broke up I like them playing together. I get mad sometimes at Westbrook, and sometimes I get mad at Durant too. I'm not the type of fan that doesn't that sees no wrong in my favorite players. I see it. I think Durant sometimes, I've seen this with LeBron. Sometimes he shies back from dominating when he can. He shies back from dominating all that. While Westbrook, he's trying to dominate all the time. So, what I mean is, so you got a player like Westbrook who's always playing at the highest potential, and you got a player like Durant that sometimes quenches his own potential. So I look at that and I'm like, man, because to me he should be the offensively the best player next to Mike. He's there, so he should be in that beast mode at all times. But we're gonna see what happens. But I'm afraid, man, if these guys don't win a championship, man, that's gonna be like one of the biggest tragedies in sports history. I mean, for real, because as we are seeing with what Russell Westbrook is doing without Kevin Durant, and what Kevin Durant did last year without Russell Westbrook, a lot of people forgetting about that too. So when you talk about it, remember that. Because I think without Russell last year, I think he was averaging like 34, 35 points a game, 7 to 8 rebounds, 5 to 6 assists. So, and shooting over 50%. So as we see, both of these guys, if you look at their stats without the other one, you can see that their talent level is really like on a LeBron James, Kobe, near Jordan level, when, if they don't have to play with another superstar. So if you look at that, to have two guys with almost Jordan level talent to play on the same team, have good chemistry with one another, to not win a title, man, that'd be crazy. And like I said, when you look back at those old Laker teams with West and Elgin Baylor, they had two guys that were playing, like I said, on a Michael Jordan level back in the '60s, and they could never get it done. And that's tragic in itself, because you can't really. I mean, when you look at the teams back then were more. The Boston Celtics teams they used to lose to all the time were really more talented from top to bottom. So they were kind of top heavy with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. So that might be the issue with Oklahoma City. But to me, after these trades they made this year, they're not just a top heavy team anymore. They have a lot of interchangeable pieces. They should get it done, man. They should get it done if they can be healthy. That's the biggest thing. And it would be a shame if these guys don't win a title. So anyway, I'm gonna finish this video. I want to hear what y'all think about it. Whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about it concerning Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, Oklahoma City Thunder. Tell me what you think.